Okay, hello everyone. My name is Kevin and I'm here with Barbara. Together we both like to welcome you all to our latest Novedge webinar series episode. Here's your sneak peek at new features in Revu 12. Learn how it improves many of your favorite features while pushing limits with some new and very powerful tools. And also benefit from Revu 12 Q&A session with Meredith, who's going to be on hand to answer your questions. For those of you who don't know who Meredith is, Meredith Jung is an application specialist at Bluebeam Software, where she advises a variety of companies and organizations on best practices for streamlining their workflows with Revu. Prior to working at Bluebeam, Meredith specified and installed audiovisual systems for a specialty contracting firm. This real-world experience helps her to understand the obstacles faced by project teams trying to meet tight deadlines and budgets, and she educates customers on how Revu resolves these challenges. Today's presentation is about 40 minutes long, and afterwards we'll have a brief Q&A where Meredith will answer your questions live. Submit yours to us at any time into the chat window below. But before we get going with today's presentation, here's an overview of what we do at Novedge. All right, here we go. Cool. The Novedge webinar series is brought to you by Novedge.com. As one of the largest online design software stores, we offer a huge assortment of software solutions that cater to virtually every designer's need. To pick up your copy of Bluebeam Revu 12, you are welcome to call and speak with our specialist, Bob Thayer. You can reach him by his email address, bob@novedge.com. Also, Barbara, I think you have a few words you would like to add too.
Sure. I'm here to strongly encourage everybody to visit the Novedge blog to get a glimpse at who is changing the world of design one step at a time. Meet the innovators, the makers, the architects, the VFX artists who work right on the edge of creativity and technology. Great interviews, great images, and great stories. Come visit us today at blog.novedge.com. And to catch up with the latest product promos and Novedge webinars, like us on Facebook, another source of endless information and, why not, entertainment. Next week, Pedro Loureiro from TDM Solution will create up to 5 jewelry design samples from scratch using features unique to both Clay U and Rhino Gold 4.0. Furthermore, he'll showcase the all-new Rhino Emboss 1.0 beta for reliefs, engravings, and texturing. It's going to be 100% practical webinar, so don't miss it. The webinar today is free and will last about 1 hour, including the Q&A session. To sign up for next week's webinar, head over to www.novedge.com/webinar/107. Last but not least, today's webinar is being recorded live. If you want to rewatch episode 106 in its entirety, as always, you can find it on our Novedge webinar series channel through Vimeo and YouTube. Now, Meredith, are you all ready to go?
Yep, I'm ready to go over here.
Great. It's very nice to hear a female voice, another female voice once in a while.
Cool.
We are looking forward to this demo, so I'll leave it up to you.
All right, Meredith, take it away. Enjoy, guys.
Sounds great. Thanks, everybody. Go ahead, put this in the full screen. So as they mentioned, my name is Meredith Jung, and I'm an application specialist here at Bluebeam Software. I'm super excited today to show you some of the new features that are coming out, or that have come out, in Revu 12 that was released last Tuesday, February 25th. Now, throughout the webinar, if you do have any questions that come up, feel free to type them in that question window, just like they mentioned earlier, and we'll go ahead and get those answered at the end of the presentation. To start, I wanted to share a little bit about Bluebeam. For more than a decade, we've been developing innovative software solutions that enable professionals to collaborate digitally. Our ultimate goal is that we want to help our customers do what they do better. As a company, we continue to play a central role in AEC, oil and gas, and other technical industries. And Bluebeam Revu has really become the industry standard as we focus on providing smart, simple solutions that facilitate digital workflows using PDFs, such as design review, bids and estimates, RFIs, submittals, field inspections, site management, punch closeout, and plenty more. Now, with each new release, we typically have a theme, and this year the theme is field ready, anywhere, anytime. In Revu 12, we're introducing the SketchUp Pro plugin. For SketchUp Pro users, you can now export any model to a 3D PDF and view and manipulate the model right within the Review interface. AutoMark 2.0. With Review 11, we introduced AutoMark, which allows you to automatically generate page labels and bookmarks from a region on your sheets. Now with Review 12, you can create page labels and bookmarks from multiple regions in the PDF. And you can also add text, such as prefixes, suffixes, and symbols. Sets 2.0. In Review 11, we introduced Sets, which allows you to view and navigate individual PDF sheets as if they are a single document in a single tab. With Sets 2.0, we've added enhanced navigation capabilities, along with the automatic redirection of hyperlinks to the latest revision, and there's also compatibility with Studio projects. Patch Link. Patch Link automates the process of creating complex navigational hyperlinks for your plan sets. Measurement tool enhancements. Review 12 offers quite a few measurement enhancements, such as being able to calculate length, area, volume, and wall area in a single measurement. And now you can also calibrate for both horizontal and vertical scales. Smart Groups. With Smart Group, you can view each element in a group within the markups list and make edits without having to ungroup. Also, subtotals will be automatically calculated for measurement annotations. Capture. Capture allows you the ability to embed a photo gallery into any markup. You can also scroll through the images and add, delete, or export them. Of course, we didn't stop there. There's even more new features in Review 12. First, there's the Studio enhancements. There have been a variety of Studio enhancements, such as Studio Session administrators can now grant full control to trusted attendees, and you can now browse to files that are stored in Studio projects through Review's document management toolbar. We've also included static XFA support, so PDF forms containing static XFA technology can now be viewed, filled out, and saved within Review. Reduce file size upgrade. Reduced file size has been revamped for improved performance, along with a new user interface. OCR Plus. OCR Plus in Review Extreme offers significant performance improvements for large format documents. And we didn't forget about headers and footers either. In Review 12, the headers and footers settings are now saved with your document, allowing for easier editing and updating as revisions and new pages are added. So let's go ahead and look at Review 12 in action. For those of you who haven't seen Review before, Review is a pretty simple PDF creation, editing, markup, and collaboration tool. There's a variety of panels on the left, bottom, and right side, with tabs that include a variety of the tools you'll be using on a regular basis, along with these toolbars on the top and the side. Now this interface is completely customizable for your workflows. So a right click, which tends to open a lot of context menus in Review, will pull up the ability to turn on and off a variety of toolbars within any of these within the interface. And then these can be saved as profiles so that you can have customized profiles to use that show all of your favorite tools on a day-to-day basis. So for example, we'll go through a couple of these, but if you were just doing design review, you could change your profile and you'll see that layout has changed as well. I personally prefer to work in the construction profile, but you'll see me use a couple of these throughout the program. Now just a heads up, these profiles can be exported, so if you're looking to standardize everything that's going on in your company, it's real easy to do right within Review. We'll go ahead and open up a large format document so I can show you some of the cool tools within Review. The navigation within Review is quite simple. Just use your scroll wheel on your mouse to zoom in and a quick click to pan, just like you expect in any other design program. Review has all of the markup tools that you're used to using on a regular basis, whether those are clouds and callouts to point out issues that are going on, say an update to the mullion design over here. But we've also got your standard pens, pencils, highlighters, and text boxes. I personally like the highlighter a lot because it goes free form out there in space, but it's smart enough to pick up that text, what needs to be highlighted as text. Now, all these tools can be found in multiple places, so markups are also available in the menu up across the top, and as well there's a variety of quick keys to access those. Just one of the benefits of working in Revu. Now, one of the great things about Revu is that we do have some unique tools, such as the ability to actually embed an image directly into the document. So let's say that that mullion design, we've actually got an image of it. We can go ahead and drop it right in and let everyone know exactly what that new updated mullion design is. Now, we work in a visual industry, and a lot of times we work just with red pens or, just with red markups. But it'd be great if we could actually customize these markups and be able to look at a page and know who said what without having to guess, right? So Revu allows us to do that. I'm going to go ahead and change the color here, add a nice fill. Go ahead and put some opacity there so we can see behind it, and even change that text color. So it's quickly apparent that that is my markup on the page. This can also be done from the Properties tab on the right-hand side. So go ahead and pull that open. There we go. And zoom right back on in there. Looks like I clicked the extra button. We'll go ahead, add a color, put in a fill, and change that fill opacity again. Of course, now that this is all customized, we'd really like to be able to use these same properties again in the future. And one of the things you'll notice is that, for example, that callout, it's still a red callout by default. Well, here at Bluebeam, we realize that saving clicks means not having to redo those properties every time that we need them. And so we created this thing called the tool chest over here on the left tab. And it saves all of our recent tools with their properties for one-click access in the future. So for example, here's that callout, exact replica of it. But a double click will allow us to put it into properties mode. So now, if we go ahead and pan around the document, let's say we need a new sunshade here. Right, there's a new callout. It has those exact same properties. Same thing with that cloud, and these can all be in all the funny shapes you want. So there we go. Nice new cloud with all those properties. Now the recent tools do clear out after every session, but a quick drag will put them into My Tools up top, where they then get a nice keyboard shortcut. Or we can also create new tool sets, which is pretty easy to do. Novedge Tools. Click OK and save it. And then we can go ahead and just drag those right on down into the tool set down there. And then click this blue gear wheel and export it to everybody on the team. What we found is a lot of our customers are using these to break out disciplines within an organization or break out different roles. So maybe there's a tool set for the mechanical engineer, the electrical engineer, and the plumbing contractor. They're all in different colors, and that makes it easy to see on the page who made which comments. Pretty powerful stuff. So now that we've got some markups on the page, what are we going to do with these markups? If you're typically doing a design review with this, working on a plan review, one of the things that you'll notice is that as you go along, you often have to take quite a few meeting notes and then figure out who's responsible for what and go ahead and assign that. Well, your meeting notes have been taken here. It's in this thing called the markups list. The markups list has a variety of columns that can be turned on and off that store all of the metadata associated with a markup. So for example, the page it's on, who the author was, when they placed it, including a timestamp there, and any comments that were placed with those. Now these can be sorted and filtered by any of the columns here. But most importantly, any comments can actually be imported from other documents. So in our example of design review, let's say we were the company and we had gone ahead, sent this out to a mechanical and electrical engineer and our plumbing contractor. And we actually had all of their comments on separate PDFs. They emailed them back. As a project manager or an architect, we could go ahead and import those. And you'll see they all show up on the page. Now we've got all that nice color coordination, blue mechanical comments, purple plumbing comments, and these orange electrical comments. So we get that immediate visual representation of, I know whose comments these are. But as well, they all show up here in the markups list with the subjects that we've assigned with them. So here's some electrical comments going through. We can click through and see them. Vice versa, if we wanted to see this plumbing comment, we can just click on it, and it highlights down in the markups list. From here, we can go ahead and filter this all out. So let's say that we only want to deal with all of the plumbing comments today. Pull up all of that plumbing information, and then go ahead and assign responsibilities. Now, responsibilities are just a custom column. We applied a couple of choices, put them in there, said OK. So now as we go through, we can let Robert take a couple, and Mikey, and let's get Herbie in here. We'll give another one to Mike. And go ahead and now sort by responsibility and create a task list right from within Revu. All of these things we're used to doing in paper. So we can do this with Excel, go out and export to Excel. I personally like using the PDF summary, and I'm going to show you exactly how that shows up by opening the Thumbnails tab here, and then creating that PDF summary and just appending it to the current PDF. So Revu goes through, takes everything that's sorted and filtered, puts it on 2 pages here, and now we've got a complete markup summary sorted by responsibility like we showed here. And if Herbie's going through and he wonders, I don't know where that plumbing comment is, it's all hyperlinked. So he can click on the hyperlink and jump right to the spot on the page where that comment is. So an incredibly powerful tool for doing your day-to-day workflows and saving time in the things you do regularly. Now, what I've just shown you is an offline workflow for this, but this can all be done online in real time. And I'll show you an example of that as we get into the Revu 12 features, how Bluebeam Studio, which has real-time document-based collaboration, can speed up workflows like these even more. With that, I think it's a good time to transition into Revu 12 and all the new features. So I'm going to start by opening up SketchUp and pulling up an image of the Pasadena City Hall. We're located in sunny Southern California here, so this is a place that's near and dear to us. What you'll see is it's a nice, nice model going here. Now, introduced in earlier versions of Revu CAD and Extreme was the ability to create 3D PDFs from Revit, Navisworks, SolidWorks, or any IFC file. But now with Revu 12, you can actually create these 3D PDFs directly from SketchUp Pro by exporting a 3D model to Bluebeam. Go ahead and export that. And this allows for really a new means of communicating design ideas or articulating complex 3D information in the universal 3D PDF format. So now that this 3D PDF is created, okay, you'll see that we can pretty easily navigate through and around our design model. Now we can use a section box to isolate a portion of this model that we're looking to see. There we go. Section box, so we can, chop off the top or take a side off. One of the other things that you can do within Revu with 3D PDFs is actually transform model parts, so we can take a single tree out of the way, or even using the 3D model tree on the left-hand side here. We can actually take all of those trees and pull them out. You could use this transform function to, say, explode a model just to see how the different components assemble. So there's a lot of flexibility within Revu to work with 3D PDFs. Of course, most importantly is that all of the markup tools that you've seen earlier work on 3D PDFs just like they do in the two-dimensional world. So if we needed to go ahead and change the dome type here, we could go ahead, write that in, say the project owner's looking at the PDF, they want the dome type changed, they type that right on in, close out of this, navigate around the PDF some more, and when the architect comes back to it, all they have to do, click that markup view, and they can see exactly what needs to be changed. So with Revu 12, our robust 3D PDF options have expanded, but we've also added plenty of enhancements in the 2D world. So let's go ahead and take a look at those now. One of the first things that you'll want to do on any given project is create a smart document set that's easily navigable by users in the field. As we open the Thumbnails tab over here, one of the things that you'll see is that the page labels in this file have a generic naming convention. 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. Instead of manually having to type the appropriate drawing number for each page label, we can automatically create page labels using AutoMark just by selecting the drawing number down here in the corner. Now with Review 12, AutoMark just got a bit smarter. Instead of having to just use a single drawing number or drawing title, we can now select multiple page regions, such as the drawing number and that drawing title here. Go ahead and add that. And then even add, some text such as a prefix, suffix, or symbol to our bookmark or page label names. So click OK here. Review is going to run, and as you can see, it's already created the page labels for this entire set in just a matter of seconds, right? A00, A100, and all of that matches the text we've got there. Now, even better, with Review 12, your text doesn't even have to be selectable or searchable for AutoMark to work. AutoMark 2.0 works with files that contain non-searchable text, such as scans, to get your PDFs in order, regardless of how they were made. Now, in the same way that we created our page labels here, we can also create bookmarks, either taking those regions or just using the page labels that are already set up. Now, as a final step, you can go ahead and easily extract each of the sheets here as its own PDF file so that you can create a lean and light document set that's ready to be used for quicker field access. And you can use the page labels or bookmarks you created to name each file. Go ahead and export those. And what you'll see is that in a matter of seconds, we now have all of those project sheets available. Go ahead, pop up the Windows Explorer here for that. There we go. Open the folder that's in, come to the desktop here. Oops. My Windows Explorer isn't working, but we've got all of those documents, and I'll show you them in just a second. So unfortunately, there is one drawback to creating a lean document set for use in the field, and that is that you lose the flexibility to work with related files like you can in this combined set of documents. It's really easy just to page through them, but when you're working with a single sheet, a little harder. In Review 11, we introduced sets, which answers this exact issue. So you can go ahead and open sets over here and create a new one. Now with sets, we essentially gave you the best of both worlds. It allows you the flexibility to keep your files light and lean, while simultaneously being able to view and navigate them as if they were a single document. So to create our new set, let's go ahead and select all of our documents. So here we go. Here's those extracted project sheets here. Click Open. Now we're going to sort these by the file name and the page label. And using the Advanced menu here, we're actually going to set up a rule that allows us to, based on our file naming convention of Rev and then the revision number, stack all of our revisions and cross out any old ones so that we can see exactly when a revision has been added. I'm going to go ahead and click Save here, and then click OK. And what you're going to see is we now have this set going. All right. Now with Review 11, Sets 2.0 introduced a few enhancements. One of these is the ability to view these all as a list instead of as thumbnails. And the other is to use the navigation buttons, my up and down buttons here on the keyboard, as well as my front and back buttons here in the navigation bar, to go ahead and navigate right through the document. Sets are also now fully compatible with studio projects, making it even easier to share your set with the entire project team. For those of you who are not aware, Projects is a free feature in Review that acts as a lightweight document management system, allowing you to store an unlimited number of files and file types. Now all of your project partners have access to the entire set and can open and check out individual files from within the set as needed directly from Studio Project. And of course, these files can be synced down locally so that you can work offline while you're in the field. So now that we have our page labels and we've got this set created, we're going to want to create a navigable set of drawings, allowing both office and field users alike to quickly click to a reference sheet, elevation, detail, RFI, or even more. So to get started with creating those links, let me tell you how we're currently doing it. And the way that it's currently done is that from the markup menu here, we pick the hyperlink tool, select the sheet number, open the file. So here we go, A100, click OK, and then do that again for A201. As you can see, this is a pretty time-consuming process, usually part of a day for a project engineer or an intern, and it's a little cumbersome. Now, with Revu 12 Extreme, you can now automatically link entire plan sets quickly and easily using the batch link tool. You can search your files, a folder, or even a series of folders such as a directory, and go ahead and, even a series of folders, and Revu will go ahead and analyze all of your documents and automatically create hyperlinks to the corresponding destinations. In our example today, rather than creating a new one for a variety of documents, in a folder or a directory, we're actually going to create for this current set and hyperlink all the index sheet and all of the elevation details with just a single click. So to start, we're going to search by the sheet number, come on down here, and use that as the region for our search results for batch link. When I click Generate, the search results and link destinations will all appear in a list. And we can now use the Link Manager to update the list as needed and save this configuration for future use. So we'll go ahead and save this to the set. And one of the things you'll notice with these destinations is we can, if we need to change it, double-click and go ahead and change the destination file pretty easily. Now, here under Link Options, there are a couple of cool options in Batch Link. One of the big ones is the ability to highlight the links, which I've done there. Click OK. I'm going to save this again to the set, so I've got all those link options there. And now we're going to go ahead and run this. Now, as soon as I select Run, you'll see that all my drawing sheets and details are automatically being linked together based on those search parameters. As you can see, we've got 132 links that were automatically created for us in a matter of seconds. And, I mean, compared to the days that it would have taken an intern or project engineer, this is a pretty nifty setup. Now, as you can see, pretty easy to navigate, right? Here's that first link. Oh, look, we've already got the hyperlinks for the details. And even on our detail pages, if there's another detail that's referenced, that's also linked, making it really easy to navigate the set. Now, as revisions are submitted throughout this project, we can select Add Files and update that set as necessary. So we'll go ahead and pull in our revisions. So you can see what happens when we do that. Again, going to save this set and click OK. What you're going to see now is that I put in the wrong revision naming conventions. So let's go ahead and fix that. We'll do that by file name. Click OK. I'm just going to run that again. Here we go. So now you can see with A201 here, we've got revision 2 up top. And below it, we have crossed out revisions 1 and our original. Now, with sets 2.0, the hyperlinks within a set are automatically redirected. So this hyperlink for A201 here is already redirected to revision 2. But as I mentioned earlier, we can save our search terms for batch links. So when these new revisions come in, we can upload all the revised sheets and then reuse those batch link settings to add hyperlinks, for example, for those details that are no longer hyperlinked. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead back to batch, link that current set. And I'm just going to regenerate the destinations based on that page region. so that we've got the new files attached. So here's the page region. Okay. We're going to regenerate. And what you're going to see now is that as we've regenerated them, now it's got all of the new revisions linked there. Again, save this back to the set, and we'll run it again. And what you'll notice at this point is that now everything's being linked to the new revisions. Now, notice how all of those hyperlinks have been updated for us. The revisions are stacked, the old revisions are crossed out, and we can now go back to navigating pretty easily through this document set. So jump back to the beginning, and now when we click A201, here's revision 2, and there's that link directly to A300, revision 2, and a link there taking us to the detail at A700. Now, just as a heads up, Batchlink supports Studio Project, SharePoint, and ProjectWise. So you can easily and automatically link your drawings from a number of different document management systems. They don't have to be on a local drive. Now, whether you guys are in the office or in the field, we've got this link set, and we're ready to start our work. So I'm going to go ahead and close out here. So just, an example of some work that we might be doing, I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm a contractor, an old job of mine, and we need to go ahead and do both a flooring and a drywall takeoff. Okay, now that I've got this document open, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change those profiles and come on into my takeoff profile. As you've seen, here we go. Everything's reorganized here so we can see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Measurements tab here. Now, as a best practice for accurate measurements, we do recommend calibrating drawings to give it a start. So let me go ahead and zoom in here, and we'll calibrate. So this 6 foot 8 inches. And just a heads up, I hit the Shift key to make sure that I got a straight line there, which is always helpful. So now, just to double check, I've got a 10 foot 5 inch measurement here. Let's see if that reference measurement works out. And it looks like we're good. So our document is all calibrated at this point. Now, in this example, I'm looking to get both the floor area of room 103 and at the same time get the wall area for my drywall takeoff. With Review 12, all I have to do is take the square footage of this room. And Review automatically calculates all the other related measurements, including wall area, and displays them in the markups list. So just so you can see this measurement, I'm going to hit the Shift key and move that 708, and then pull up the markups list down here. And when I select that markup, you'll see we've got the length, 106.43, the area, that 708 up there, a wall area of 71 and square feet, and a volume of 472 cubic feet. Now, in the Measurements tab, if I knew that the wall height was actually 10 feet instead of 8, I could go ahead and change it there. And when I go ahead and click out of it, you'll see that that has automatically updated the wall area and the volume. It's automatically been calculated. Now, another new feature within Review 12 when it comes to measurements is the ability to do smart groups. So one of the things that you're going to notice, as I go ahead and close a couple of these up to see, is that I've got smart groups here for hardwood flooring with multiple options, as well as resilient flooring. Now these groups can be grouped together. Click here, group them. So we can have a single group that encompasses everything. So give it a double click, we'll call this flooring. Here we go. And from there, as we open it up, you'll see we have both the resilient flooring options here and the hardwood flooring options. Now, you can go ahead and just quickly make annotations to all of these. So if you wanted to change the layer that it's on or go ahead and assign it a new material, that can now easily be done without having to change the properties of all of those markups. We can now change those individually using this smart group. Now, the other great thing about these group measurements is that you do get subtotals. So here's your hardwood flooring subtotal. right? 1,133 square feet, more or less, as well as a resilient flooring subtotal of 10,000 square feet, and then a total flooring subtotal. So all of these groups will subtotal all their way up, which is really helpful. Now there are a few new measurement tools in Revu, and one of the cool ones I want to show you is now the ability to do a center out radius instead of having to do a 3-point radius. So in Revu 11, you selected that 3-point. Now with the center radius, you just pick a spot, pull out 2 feet 6 inches or so. That bathroom more than meets ADA compliance, so that'll be easy to go there. Now as well, when you are taking measurements of short lengths, instead of cramming everything together in the middle, Revu 12 now puts the arrows on the outside and then makes it easy to move that measurement so that it's easy to see. It can even be rotated, giving you the ability to create a clear and professional looking takeoff. Now when my takeoffs are complete, I no longer have to export all of the markups to Excel. I can actually just take those sort totals or take the markups and the totals, which is not available in Revu 11. So if I click that totals there, go ahead and save that to my desktop, what you're going to notice is that Revu has created a nice summary of just those subtotals that were there for all of the groups as well as any of the subjects. So now you can go ahead and just import that into your existing bid sheet and you're good to go. Go ahead and close that out. Now there is one other large enhancement to estimation, and that is the ability to calibrate on an X and Y axis. So let me go ahead and open that up. So for those of you who are civil engineers or you're working on geospatial diagrams that often have different vertical and horizontal axes, you can now go ahead and separate the vertical and the horizontal scale and calibrate those. So we'll go ahead and calibrate that X scale here on this horizontal, so it's 100 feet. Click OK. And then calibrate that Y scale as well. Here we go, 10 feet, 0 inches. So now we've got our two scales calibrated. And if we go ahead and take a vertical measurement here, this should be 24 feet. And what you'll see is it comes out exactly 24 feet. But even more impressive is that you now have the ability to go ahead and measure this railway track, right? That's an accurate measurement of the railway track using both those different X and Y scales. Measurements on bridges, roadways, and pipelines have never been easier or more precise than they are with Revu 12. Now, as your project moves closer to completion and you get into the painful, not that, yeah, it's painful, project of doing punch and back check, Revu's new capture tool makes it even easier to easily track and reference site conditions and issues that need to be addressed. So let's go ahead and complete our punch walk in real time by logging into a studio session in our punch profile here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the tool chest, and what you'll notice is that punch profile has a bunch of nice punch keys here. Now these can all be shown in detail mode, which allows us to see exactly what those punch keys stand for, what the comments are associated with them. So one of the things you're going to notice is that my colleague Angela has joined us in this punch walk. She's actually on site with her iPad in the field, punching a different wing of the floor than I am. But we're going to go through and say I'm out in the field over here, and I found some issues, such as some exposed wiring over here. I can go ahead and place that punch symbol. But now to Revu 12, I can actually associate all of the images from that. So I can pull up some existing files I've got here, images of that exposed wiring. Looks like I've got a couple here. We can select a few of these, click Open, and attach those right onto that document. And what you'll see is that those images are now here. We can cycle right through them. And then we can even add new ones right from here. So if you've got a tablet with a camera or a laptop with a camera, you can go ahead and just shoot a photo and use that and even add that directly to it, or give it a quick delete with the trash can up there. Now, you can also take those photos on the fly, as I've shown, and it looks like Angela is actually in the process of doing that. So let's go ahead and see where she is on the page. Look at this little feed by her and actually follow her around. And what you'll see is she's been placing comments, and it looks like she's actually added a comment here to this one. So let me see what, oh, she found some pretty nasty wall issues out in the field, as you can see. You know, just easy to find. Now, when Angela and I are finished documenting our site walk, we can go ahead and see all of this down in the markups list, right? Just like we're used to in the regular software, all of the stuff that we've been doing in real time. And we can sort and filter by subject and summarize all of this information into a report. Now, one of the great things when creating those PDF summaries is that we can do actually a table, and that'll show us all of these pictures that we've captured with Capture along with all of the information in this report. So you'll see here's the report, and here's all of our embedded images showing up right in the report. Now, as well, we've also set up some custom statuses, which for punch and back check are great, because now if we've noticed a carpentry issue and it's actually been dealt with, we can go ahead, change that status to completed, and you'll see it turns green, making it easy to tell what still needs to be finished and what's already completed. So that concludes the presentation of the Review 12 features. I'm going to open it up now for Q&A. Again, please use the chat window in GoToMeeting for questions. I'm going to go ahead and open that up and see where we're at.
Okay, all right. So thank you for the presentation. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions right now, would be a good time to submit them into the chat window below. But I mean, Meredith, what are some frequent questions that you guys have about Bluebeam Revu 12?
One of the big questions that we often get about Bluebeam Revu 12 is whether the capture images will actually show up in other PDF software. One of the things to note is that Capture is unique to Revu. Almost everything in Revu follows the PDF ISO standard, so those 3D PDFs we created are easy to share with everybody regardless of what PDF software they have. Same with the regular 2D markups and images that we were dropping on the page. But Capture is actually unique to Revu, so if you are working with Capture, your collaborators will either need our free viewer, Bluebeam View, or you'll need to create that summary list so that they get those captured pictures on their PDF. So that's a pretty big one. The other one is we get a lot of questions about Batch Link. Batch Link is only available in Revu Extreme. The good news is that the upgrade price to Revu Extreme covers upgrades from previous versions to version 12, but it also covers upgrades between versions or between editions of the software. So if you're using Revu CAD or Revu Standard and you want access to that Batch Link feature, you can just upgrade to Revu Extreme. It's an easy process.
Cool, that sounds good. Okay, so another question that I have is, another question that I have is whether or not, Al wants to know, measuring area of a space with area tool, can we get width and length of the room measured at the same shot? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll assign this question to you just so you can see this.
Definitely. Let me go ahead and pop back up in our estimation file that we were working with earlier. Just so I can show you what actually shows up with that. And we're not going to open layers, but I am going to come through, full page this, back into measurements. We'll jump in right down here to this classroom. And what you're going to notice is that as we take the square footage of the classroom like we did earlier, there are several measurements associated. The length and width are not associated. Whoops. And clearly my image is also not calibrated, as you can see by that large number that showed up. There we go. It's a pretty large number. But one of the things that you'll notice is that if you do need a separate length and width, you will have to measure those separately. What Revu does measure in that length column down there, which as we select this, go ahead and pull these close so you can see, whoops, and turn on the lengthen area. This length column here is actually just measuring the perimeter. So it gives you a nice perimeter measurement for your markups, but it doesn't actually do length and width. You have to measure those separately. Now, just as a heads up, if you do for some reason do something like I did and forget to calibrate your page, you can actually recalculate all of that. So if we calibrate here, 6 feet, 8 inches, we can actually go ahead and recalculate. And all fixed. Those measurements now look right.
Sounds good. Okay. All right. So just in case. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Great question, Al. Let's see. I'm sure that the webinar is probably not going to answer all the questions that Bluebeam users out there have. What do you guys have that'll help people, like in terms of tutorials, forums, and videos?
That's a great question. I'm going to go ahead and open a web tab within Revu and navigate over to the Bluebeam website so I can show you what we've got available. There we go, bluebeam.com. There's a couple of great resources on the Bluebeam website for learning more about the software. One of the big ones is under this training section. And we've got a variety of videos both on the new features in Revu, but as well on the existing features. So it's almost like a learning course. So you can go ahead, click Getting Started, see just the basic features, see PDF markups and editing, and continue through. Now the other thing on this training page are our webinars. So for those of you who are looking for webinars on how to get started with Revu, the basics of customization, collaboration, and tracking with the markups list, or even just getting started in the software, that's all available here from this training page. So there's a lot of great resources there that you can rely on. And of course, you can rewatch this webinar on Novedge's Vimeo or YouTube channels, which is also a great option for digging in a little more on the features. Giving it a second look sometimes is all you need to get something going. So.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks, Meredith. So I think what we'll do right now is we'll wrap it up, and I'll take over from here. Grab the slides. Let's
Perfect.
See. All right, let me know if you guys can see my screen here.
Yep, looks good.
Here we are. Cool. Yeah, very cool. On behalf of the Novedge team, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Meredith, I want to thank you for coming out and doing this presentation. If you guys have any questions, feel free to submit it to me. Shoot me an email message at kevin@novedge, and I'll do my best to work with the Bluebeam Account Services team to make sure to get your questions answered as well. But if you guys are looking up to pick up the latest version of Bluebeam Revu 12, we have Standard and also Extreme. The Novedge webinar series is brought to you by Novedge.com. If you guys want more information, head on over to Novedge.com. Check out our product page. If you have any more questions, contact our Bluebeam specialist, Bob, there. You can reach him at his email address, bob@novedge.com. And I do want to mention, thank you, Meredith, for mentioning the website. If you guys have any, if you guys are looking for more training, support information, head on over to bluebeam.com. Excellent website, as you guys just saw, and you guys can even access it through Bluebeam Revu 12 from within the program as well. Barbara, I think you have a few words you'd like to mention as well, too.
Yes, I wanted to thank Meredith. Her presentation was flawless, and I want to remind everyone to take a look at our Novedge blog to get a glimpse of what's changing the world one design one step at a time. Last week, for instance, we interviewed a team of Italian architects and designers that are trying to continue a tradition of great beauty using the newest technology like 3D printing. Check it out, and also like us on Facebook and put us on your wall to get the latest info on webinars and new products. Next week, please join us for a new webinar with TDM Solution, where Pedro Loureiro will create up to 5 jewelry design samples from scratch using features unique to both Clay U and Rhino Gold 4.0. It's going to be a 100% practical webinar, so it should be really fun. To sign up, head on over to www.novedge.com/webinar/107. And I also want to remind everyone that today's webinar is being recorded live. And if you want to rewatch it, you can just go on our Novedge webinar series channel on Vimeo and YouTube and tell your friends.
Cool. All right. On behalf of the Novedge team, thank you. Meredith, do you have any last words you'd like to say before we sign off on today's presentation?
I want to thank you all for coming. It was a fabulous presentation. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Any questions you have, feel free to reach out to Novedge, and we'll get those all answered for you.
Very cool. All right. All right. Everybody, have a good one. Please enjoy your breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Thank you,
wherever you
sir.
are in the world. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Ciao.
Bye.